Hello everyone, welcome to Winged Horse Designs. I'm Donna Goodwin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Brookings, South Dakota. I'm pre-recorded this for you today, and it's going to take about 20 minutes maybe to do this really fun twisted easel card. So when you set it down and you prop it up, it twists and then it sits there as an easel on a table or a mantle. So I think you're really going to like this card. I'm going to go ahead and switch the cameras so that we can get started. Okay, here's a little bit better view of it where the sun coming through the window is not glaring on it. Like I said, this is a 4x4. It's a little bit smaller, but you can make this in any size that you like. The whole key is in the one score line. And then when you just open it and twist, it goes this way. And of course, you can just open it up and write your sentiment on the inside. So a lot of fun to make this card. I think you're really going to enjoy it. It's super easy. It's as easy as a normal easel card. So I'm going to set this up here in the corner. I did use quite a few pieces on this, but you're really going to enjoy it. You won't need to write the description down because it is in the description. We're going to start, or I'm starting with mine. Since I'm doing a square card, it's 4¼ inches by 8½ inches, scored in the middle at 4¼ inches. So I'm going to give that one a really good crease. And then the key to the twist is to score from the bottom left corner to the top right corner. And we're going to give that a good crease. And then after we put our decoration on that, this will come and it will sit up like a little tent, but it'll be on a twist. So we can go ahead and set that aside. I'm using thick basic white for my card base. And then I also have another piece of thick basic white, and you can use any color obviously as you want, that measures 4 inches by 4 inches. And I'll explain why I'm using this extra piece when we get there. I have a piece of normal basic white that's 4x4. A piece of scrap for the leaves, and a piece of scrap for our citrus slices. So I'm going to start with our regular cardstock 4x4, and I'm going to bring in something to protect my desk here. I'm using 4 cup. Whoa, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm using the Sweet Citrus stamp set. It's got these wonderful citrus pieces, and I've even seen it so you can make them lemons, limes, oranges, grapefruit, or any type of citrus that you like. But I've also seen a demonstrator who stamped these rinds in brown and then took this stamp here and flipped it over. Since this is photopolymer, you can flip it over and you have the flat side versus the image side, and then stamped that inside and turned them into coconuts. And when I saw that, I was like, pina coladas, the citrus, back in my younger days anyway. And then you can also purchase, if you like, a coordinating. This is a hybrid, so it comes with both the embossing folder and the dies. And we are going to use both of them today. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the embossing folder out. And then you have dies, and it will cut out 4 pieces at once. And then you have the cluster of 3 flowers, single flower. You actually have 2 clusters of the 3 flowers and 2 doubles and 2 of the leaves. So if you're doing a whole lot, it doesn't take you a lot to do that. What I really like about this stamp set is just like the greetings, and I like citrus. I like that it says, have a zesty birthday. That's the one we're going to use today. But I also like this one, enjoy the sweeter things in life. Kind of reminds us to look for the positive in life. And then I'm also going to, for the texture here on the background, use the exposed brick embossing folder. It's one of the new embossing folders in the catalog. And I just like it because it adds texture, and I really enjoy texture. But before we get to those, we need to add some color. And I chose some very bright beachy colors. We have Tahitian Tide, Flirty Flamingo, Daffodil Delight, and Granny Apple Green. So I'm going to start with the Tahitian Tide. And I'm just going to take my blending brush and lay on a nice, good, thick layer of Tahitian Tide. And just keep working at it and working at it until I get it the intensity that I want. I'm going to go with quite a bit of intensity on this. And I'm not even worried about getting all the way to the edges. You notice I have a little bit of white going on here. I just want to get it good and dark. But I didn't want it as dark as it would be if I did direct to paper by dragging the ink pad across it. Maybe just a bit more. So that looks pretty bright. And I did do my sentiment. Okay, so I'll leave that out. That looks pretty bright. So let's go ahead while that ink pad's out and stamp the inside. And on the inside, I'm going to stamp Have a Zesty Birthday. Now I know when this is folded, it's going to be like this. So this piece right in here is going to show. So I'm going to come over as close as I can, down a bit and over as close to the fold as I can, so that the sentiment kind of is a little bit hidden, and you'll be able to use this card on display pretty much all year long. Now, yes, I didn't put the foam mat underneath it because my desk mat has a mat on it. But you would normally want to bring in a foam mat underneath these photopolymer stamps. So I'll go ahead and set that aside so that we can work on the next piece. So we're going to put this in that exposed brick embossing folder. And run it through the embossing machine. And we now have this nice piece with lots of texture in it. And then I'm also going to bring in, oh, that one's empty. I'm going to bring in a paintbrush, or I'm using the aqua painter, but I'm going to bring that in. This one's empty, so I'll just have to refill it real quick. With just some plain water. This is the old aqua painter. I just happen to have it handy. And it works just as good as the new water painters. I'm going to take this, I'm going to load it with some water. Okay. And I'm just going to flick it on top of this paper. And I want some of the drops to be kind of big and some of them kind of little. And you're not going to see it right away, but you will see it as it starts to dry. You're going to get some water spots on this. And there's a big one right there, but I think I want a little bit up in this area and down in this area. Sometimes they drop all at once, and sometimes it takes a bit. I'm not getting the bigger drops like I want. And so you can start to see those as the water dries, how you get these water spots on it as though you spilt your drink. So we'll set that aside and let that dry. We're going to take our other piece of scrap paper and run it through our embossing machine with this background citrus, okay? Because after we do our blending on it with color, this will line up and cut out these pieces as well. So it not only cuts out the stamped images if you stamp them, but it will cut out these images on the embossing folder too. So we're going to run this one through the machine. Make sure I don't lose that. And we now have this piece. While that piece is drying, we're going to go ahead and color our pieces of citrus. Now Stampin' Up! Has our normal size brushes, and we have some smaller ones, which I don't happen to have yet, that are about this size. You can see they're a little bit smaller. Maybe they're a tad smaller than that one. I happen to have a whole bunch that I have left over, listen, that I had purchased before Stampin' Up! Started carrying them. So I'm just going to, I just liked the idea of pink on this card with the blue. And I'm going to go ahead and do the other pieces that don't cut out with the die. I'll have to cut those out by hand, but I'll be able to use them on another project. And so this way they won't go to waste, right? And then I'm going to bring in a slightly bigger one with Daffodil Delight. Pumpkin pie would be a nice color. And I'm going to use my lemon. I guess this would be a lemon since I'm using yellow, right? I'm going to use it to create my little stop here. And then I'm just going to go around these and add some yellow. And run these through the die cutting machine to get these. And then for my leaves, I had some laying around, but basically I probably just took a piece of cardstock and I did it with the Granny Apple Green, and then I cut out the leaves. Well, I found some in my stash. Found quite a few in my stash actually. And it looks like they had been embossed as well. I think that is the bark embossing folder, which retired on May 1st. But let's just use these things that we have from our stash, right? So now that we have this piece, I'm going to wrap some twine around it. And this is the Tahitian Hot Tide Baker's Twine. It comes in a pack of 5, and you have the 2021 to 2023 in colors in that. Now this is still just a tad wet. So I need a piece of paper towel. And I'm just going to blot that real quick before I start wrapping with my twine. And I'm just going to wrap it around and tie a bow. Let me get this down where you can see it better. And I think on my other one, I wrapped it one extra time, but that's okay. And I'm going to slide this around over here to the edge. And I'm going to dry fit my pieces. And I think I kind of like this, so let's go ahead and glue these together. Ooh, that came out a lot. Oh, first one came out a lot, and then there we go. And then this one didn't want to come out at all. And then we can start adding some leaves behind this. This may take more than 20 minutes. How about one there? One here. Maybe one down here. And how about one more up in here? I want a darker one. I kind of like the way that looks, so I'm going to flip it over and start adding my dimensionals. I'm going to put my dimensionals over the top of each of these pieces just to help hold them together. And then we'll put those on this piece. You're going to see how fast and easy this really comes together. The assembly takes no time at all. Now I'm going to adhere this piece to this other piece of the harder cardstock, because once you've embossed this, it's not real stiff, and I kind of want it a little bit stiffer up here so that it holds its shape when it's popped up. So that's why I'm putting it on another piece just to add some stability. I probably could have just worked with the thick basic white for the coloring and the embossing as well. But it also hides the string behind it so that it doesn't get caught when we put it in the easel. So let's go ahead and set that aside and finish up our card base. I'm going to go ahead and stamp some flowers down here to go underneath this little lime so that it's just not sitting there on its lonesome out there. So I'm going to bring this back in and bring in the Flirty Flamingo and stamp these groupings of flowers just down around this edge. And then we'll use some Daffodil Delight to put some centers in. Now this is two different stamps, and all I did is I just laid them down on top and then picked them up with my block. Let's just go ahead and do that. I just simply laid them down, and that's the beauty of photopolymers. You can see exactly where it's at. I just laid them down and got them lined up on top of those and then wrapped them with a block. And then I could stamp all 3 centers at once rather than stamp 2 of them and then come back and stamp the third. I'm dropping everything today. Now we need to pop this up so that it creates a ledge for this to set up, to rest against. So we'll bring in some more dimensionals. And while I probably only need 1 or 2, I am going to use 3 just to give it a little more stability when it's got something resting against the edge. Now our final step is to put this on the front. So we don't want any adhesive here, so it'll stand up. So we know we want adhesive on this edge and this edge here. So I'm just going to put some glue, not coming all the way to the corner. I'm just going to put some glue along this edge and this edge, and then along the diagonal. Again, not coming all the way to the corner, because the card base is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and this piece that we're gluing on is only 4 by 4. Twine out all the way there. And then you'll just line it up the way you normally would line something up. And I'm going to hold it down for a bit. And if you're enjoying this video, please do like, comment, and share. And if you saw any products that you really like, if you're located in the United States, and don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. Those links are in the description below. I also offer classes where I teach you how to do these right here in my own home. So if you're in the Brookings, South Dakota area, feel free to click on the calendar link and you can see those. And I'm going to finish this off with some iridescent pastel gems. They come in 3 different colors. I'm going to use they're kind of clear, but I just think that they pull in all the different colors on that. So there you have a fun twisted easel card. And if I can get this right without messing it up, there we go. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you'll come back for more videos. Monday, I will be here in a live stream with yet another fun easel card. This time it'll be a triple easel card. I think you're really going to enjoy that one. A few more steps, but really super easy to create. So have a wonderful weekend, everyone, and I will see you Monday live at 2 p.m. Central Time. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Happy trails.